watching Divine Knowledge.
Today the topic I will be talking about is portals. A portal basically is just an opening, or it could be called as a doorway into another dimension or maybe into another realm. In spirituality or mysticism, to access a portal is one of the most difficult things. It could take years and years of practices or rituals or being as a medium, loads of things you will have to do to reach that stage where you could access a portal. Because the portals are already in our space and time. They are already there. The people who can see, they can notice the portals. Okay. In our own language they say, "Raaste bane hue hain." But one has to seek that door and go to that doorway. Now the thing is that the portal itself, I will keep it very brief because it's a short video, and in my upcoming videos you will hear more about the portals and how they operate and how the accessibility can be gained and what does one gain from going through a portal. When a spiritualist accesses a portal, there are two basic ways of going through that. Now it all depends on his basically reach, how much he can reach, how strong he is spiritually, not physically, spiritually how strong he is, that is his reach, in which in our language it's called parvaz. What type of reach is he going with? Because the reach is basically the medium between you and your spirituality. That's another subject that I will be talking about. But coming back to the subject, when a spiritualist sits down and he closes his eyes, he will basically see himself enter a ball, a circle. It is a ball, but it's a circle. And the circle is basically, you can put it down as made of light. It's a light. And it is not fiery. It is not fire. But the circumference of it, the outer part, that looks like a fire. It will have strands. And it will always be in a movement. It will not be static. Either it is coming towards you, or it's going apart from you, or basically you close your eyes and then you try to follow it. It goes left or right, or maybe up and down. But the portal will never be constant. And the other thing with any portal is that it always changes its location. You cannot enter a portal from one location, either spiritually or maybe physically if you are that strong. The portal basically, when one closes his eyes as being a spiritualist or a mystic, basically he enters through the portal, goes through the doorway, and then he can see whatever realm he's gone to. Like if I give a hypothetical example, just as an example, that one enters a portal of 2060. Because the other thing I would love to mention over here, that time is not bound once a person enters the portal. Time is not bound. He is not time bound, and the time is not bound in any portal, because the main thing here is that the dark side is beyond and above time. There is no time over there. Time is only designed for us in this universe or this world as human beings. I think this is the way he controls us, because of time. I would say, and I call it, is the controlling mechanism that we are controlled with time. But that is another subject. We'll talk about that later whenever I get the chance. Now coming back to the portal. Once the person, spiritualist, hits it, goes inside, like 2060 or something like that. To reach a certain point, he will have to travel through that time phase. For example, like 2023 till 2053. So that's around about 30 odd years. And if we say it's warp speed, Mach speed, or speed of light, no, there is no speed. Because the thing is that you've entered a portal that is already designed of light. It bears light within itself. And you shut your eyes, you jump into the portal. Literally, you don't see yourself jump into it. That is another subject that I'm going to talk about right now. But you basically see the surroundings of it. Everything will start moving from your sides. You will not move. Once you enter the portal, you cannot move, put it this way. You dare to move because you haven't got the capacity and the power to move within that portal of light. You cannot move. Everything around you moves. Everything around you moves. If the portal was open for 2053, you will basically see each year pass by you, and things will move so fast that you will just keep doing like this, and then things will just flow past you and by you. Even the curves, the turns, the highs, the lows, you will feel it. That's why if you notice the great mystics, or maybe the great spiritualists, or maybe the Sufi, the dervishes, sometimes when they used to close their eyes, they look here and there. They look here and there. And some of them, while looking, if they look down, some of them vomited. Basically, this happens when basically the portal takes you downwards. Because the speed is so high, the velocity is so much, the speed is so high that you tend to vomit. Because you start going into a tip. And that's not the tip. That is just a path that the portal is taking you through. Once you reach there, the portal will, basically you will see yourself at the end of the portal. I mean, not the end of the portal, end of the scene basically. You will be at the end of the scene, what you were seeing, that will be the end of it. But the portal will be around you. You will be like a hollow of light or maybe something like that. But you are inside the portal. And then being a spiritualist, one cannot see himself within the portal. You will see the surroundings, but you will be inside that. When you walk out, when you retrieve from the portal, it will be a lap of a second, maybe even less than that. And you just open your eyes, and then you're out of that scenario or scene, whatever you've seen. And whatever reason you have been inside that portal of any realm, or maybe some sort of dimension, or another place, a spiritual place, or maybe another space or something like that. Now, this concept does not cover time travel. One thing I will make it clear, that what I just spoke about was basically is an example towards the timeline of 2053, but the rest is all based on what spiritualists and mystics see during their path within portals. Now coming to the next one, who have a very, very high reach, and they have a velocity, a very high velocity within their reach, who basically command both the reach and the velocity, which is called parvaz in our language, and the other word that is raftar, that is the velocity, speed, who can control that, who have basically the gear shift, who can bring it back and bring it forward and control it according to their will. They will basically, within this same scenario, as an example of 1953, they will basically close their eyes and then see themselves physically enter the portal. They will see themselves enter the portal. Now, what is the difference between both of them? Number one is, the first example was that basically you go in and everything is passing by you and you're at warp speed. You try to catch, look, but you can't grasp anything until you reach your end of the journey. But in this scenario, in where there's a high reach and high velocity and who can basically see themselves entering the portal. Like he puts his step in and he walks in the portal, and then everything starts to move at warp speed. They can use shifts. Shifts means that while they are moving, one object is moving in front of them, that is themselves, and one object who is controlling that portal. Well, they can't control the portal, but I'll just give it as an example. They are controlling the portal. Basically, they will twist it, and what happens is everything starts to make shape, because a fast moving object, if it's given on a curve, automatically the visibility increases. That's the law of physics as well, and this law applies in that space as well, in that dimension or maybe that realm. They basically create curves while they're seeing, and they just tilt, and then his own body, his own soul, basically, you can put it down as his own soul, he sees traveling through, and then he creates curves, and then what happens is they start to maneuver. There are other examples as well, like they can take a left turn, and the other thing is that one of the most you can put it out as highest form that can be achieved is that they send themselves in the portal and basically open their eyes, and then what happens is they basically talk about that space within this time, which is a very put it down as high-end achievement in spirituality. But coming back to the subject, when one travels through and the other one is sitting down and he's basically controlling or meditating himself to control that portal, and himself as a soul or spirit going through that portal towards 2053, he basically shifts, and then they can start to see, because the curves, basically when there are too many curves, the velocity decreases. That's the law of physics, as I said earlier. Basically they start to view other things as well. What they see, people of this caliber, I'll talk about first, and then I will talk about that one, and then we will wrap this up. What these ones see, the one who controls the portal and controls his soul going in the portal by basically maneuvering himself or maybe floating, whatever they're doing, and they do not talk about these things. They do not tell people. that, oh, I visited that place. No. I've been there. No. There are a very few mystics, the wise, the Sufis, who say, I have been there. These are the ones with high velocity and high reach, high parvaz and high raftar in our language as well, that who have been there and they see, I have been there. These are the ones who have been there. And those ones are the ones who usually say, oh, मैंने तो वो देखा है. I have seen that. Those are the ones who basically went there without physically being there. But these ones basically have seen themselves there. So basically they rephrase their words and they basically say, okay, I have seen that. But the thing is that one says seen that, the other says that I have been there. They do not speak. They do not speak. Yeah, if it's another realm, maybe you can talk about the place of the dead, or maybe another dimension. They might be talking about these things. But ground reality is the one who sees, he does not speak. Because one thing is for sure, what I have learned in my whole life is that the seeker speaks. The one who seeks, he speaks. But the one who learns, he does not speak. They basically put a lock to their mouth. And the reason being that they know that speaking is probated from the other side. Thank you very much for watching Divine Knowledge, and please ensure that you do subscribe, like and share if you can and got the time, and if you find it interesting. And the other thing I would advise and request everyone, please make sure that leave comments. And leave comments that are based on questions, but not too many. So if I can get the chance, I will speak on those, because I've already got loads of subjects to talk about. Again, thank you very much. Take care. Bye-bye from my side.